going on, guys? It's Patrick here, and welcome back to another episode of the SmithSquad Podcast. This is episode 65, and we are joined with two of my very good and longtime friends from YouTube. Welcome, people. Welcome.
What's up? Seriiaal Assassin here. Thanks. I greatly appreciate the offer to be here, man.
Yeah, dude. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello, you guys, and also nearly 600,000 potential other people.
Yo. We're just...
Let that set in, dude.
I know, it's crazy. I was just going to say, though, we were talking about botching the intro, and then you guys got it good, and I screwed it up, so... That's a...
Like, you were...
Well, no, because I was like, I forgot who was going to talk first, so I was like, all right, they just got to... Hopefully, one of them remembers who was going to go first.
I know, I kind of wanted to sabotage the whole thing, and, like... still speak over Greg and just be like, oh god, after that huge sort of thing about, who's gonna speak first, and then just mess it right up.
Yeah, but so you guys,
well, you know what?
Oh,
you know what? 5 minutes into this podcast, no one's gonna remember.
It's true. They're gonna be completely forget.
Hopefully not, because they've clicked off and they're watching another podcast.
Oh, I don't think so.
That.
I don't think
they've
so.
Got past that little hiccup.
Oh, forget this. Patrick fucked up the intro. I'm out of here.
So we're here with the great debate squad from long, long ago. How are you guys? All right, so I don't even know where to start. Last time we did this was, I think it was the start of 2015.
Yeah.
You now have a kid.
I have a baby girl called Luna, who is nearly a month old.
So what's that like?
She means the moon to you?
She means the moon to me.
Oh.
And no, whenever everyone was like, how are you feeling? I was like, I'm over the moon. And then nobody picked up on that pun, but I never corrected.
Oh my god, that's so clever.
That is awesome.
It was like a secret joke that inside, I was loving every time, but nobody knew. I love those things. But yeah, no, everything is amazing. It's amazing how, chemicals must go off in your body when you see your own child for the first time, and it's just... I hope it never goes away, that feeling.
Do you look at other kids now differently? Because I'm 19 and I see a kid and I'm like, it's just another person. It's stupid, whatever. But I hear when you get a kid yourself, you kind of have a newfound appreciation for them.
I want to disagree with that. I have no appreciation for other children. I mean, and like you were saying, seeing your child for the first time. I remember when my first son was born. I swear to God, when he came out, all I saw was my face on this little baby's body, and I thought I was hallucinating, and I almost passed out. So my mother-in-law was like, "Oh my God, Greg, he looks just like you," and I'm like, "Okay, it's not just me." But yeah, I mean, looking at other kids, I guess the only thing you can say is when I look at other kids, I sort of compare them to how they behave compared to my children. And I don't know if maybe that's just my logical brain and the way it works, but okay, well, my kids would never do that shit. Or, God damn it, I wish my kids, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's what you're referring to.
I come at it from I have to come at it from a totally different mindset, because I have another kid who isn't mine. Leah is 7 years old, and she is my fiance's first child. So I think I got my appreciation then beforehand,
right?
And and that felt really natural. I fell in love with her. And that might sound really weird to people.
Dude, she's awesome. I watched your video with her. She seems awesome.
She's so cool.
Yeah,
she's the coolest person ever. But I've always been quite good with kids in general. I do a customer service job. I used to be a lifeguard where there's kids about all the time, and you have to. So I think I went through that barrier earlier, perhaps, and that's maybe why I'm 24 and I was more than ready to have a kid.
Right.
You had a good crash course.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
Yeah, my stepson was 4 when my son was born, and I was 22. So, and then I had my second when I was 24. So I had three boys, under the age of 7 by the time I was 24 years old.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It was cool and scary at the same time.
Yeah, I bet. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm coming up on 20, but I I can't imagine myself having kids
Old man
soon.
Patrick. Really funny.
Yeah, I'm the
His
youngin.
first YouTube video when he was like 14.
Actually, it was 12, but you're close enough.
Right.
Burn.
Let's go through this, okay? Because I have been watching Patrick, and I've known Patrick from when he pretty much had started up his.
You were the first YouTuber to ever. I think you were the first or second YouTuber to ever approach me.
And I love that. Like, I've always got that, no matter how big you get, because I remember finding you, and you could just tell that you sort of were clued up, I guess. And I guess that was from all your previous channels and stuff.
Yeah, because I was on my fourth go at YouTube at that point, and it was kind of like, I want to do this
kind of similar
real.
Because I had done like vlogging and stuff, and I loved it, but I'd been wanting to do gaming for so long. I didn't have the capture card.
That was the same way as me. So I'd like screen record, I'd do like PC gaming, which I could kind of do, but I could never really get it to work because, you know, Call of Duty was always the thing, and I could never get Call of Duty. So for me, it was always like, well, you know, I think I'm more of a YouTuber at heart than I am a gamer. So it was like, I'll do whatever I can. So we'll get that. But I knew deep down I always wanted to do YouTube gaming. I just could never get it because I used to watch, you know, the whole community, like, you know, Woody's Gamertag and Only Use Me Blade and White Boy and Wings of Redemption. And, you know, Mercadurka, that was how we found each other. He liked one of my videos, sent you saw that he liked it. You came over and you're like, hey, we should do a collab sometime.
And there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's amazing. Because I always had in my head all three of us started around the same time. Because I think, Patrick, when I first found you, I think you were around like 400 subscribers.
Yeah.
And Uoon, I think you were like maybe 700.
When I met Uoon, he was at 2,000, I think.
No.
When
I found him, he was around 700.
Okay.
And I think I found you through Midnight.
Wasn't it through what was
Legacy
that?
No, was it Legacy Gaming?
Oh no.
Yes, Legacy Gaming Hub.
What's his name? He actually he wasn't part of Legacy Gaming. That was Cody. It was he quit after like he had 5,000 subscribers and he quit. I forget his name. But he had that he had some kind of special where he just, you know, accepted invites and I know it was Midnight.
Oh, Remembrance?
Remembrance.
Was it him?
It.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was like
he gave me my first shout out when he did a shout out at like 500 subs and I had like 12 subs and he gave me a shout out. So he gave me my first boost ever. And I think Seriiaal Assassin, when I found you had about 70 subscribers or so.
Give or take.
But you had loads of views, right? And
yeah, I was getting like 100 views with my 70 subscribers.
Yeah.
What?
Was it because it was your sons who were like clicking on them, weren't they, or something like that? Like your boys were trying to help you out, and they were just like refreshing the videos, and you had no idea that they were doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I still remember the first video I ever saw you were playing, and I have no idea what the map's called now, but I remember the exact map that it was, and you were using the M16. Because I always remember like the first time, and I remember that video with Patrick where I think it was 5, and it was either the one where you were speaking about Only Use Me Blade or Mercadurka.
It's got to be Mercadurka was on 5. Yeah.
So I still remember that exact moment when I clicked on that video.
Yeah, but we were all part of Legacy, right?
Yeah.
It was like a community channel that everyone would post to, and because honestly, like if it wasn't for that, I probably would have quit. Like that channel wasn't going very well for me either. Like this one I currently have. And then I met up with you guys. I met up with Legacy Gaming Hub, and like I started talking to people, and that was when it clicked for me that I realized, like, wait, I can't be doing this on my own the entire time. Like, I need to talk with other YouTubers and get ideas from people. Like, I had always been trying to do it on my own for like 4 years, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm stupid. Like, I should talk with other people. And that was my moment.
I was different because I wanted to get in because I wanted to speak to these people that I was watching. These like. For Woody's Gamertag, I don't watch anymore or haven't watched for years, but him at the time when I was a bit younger and I kind of looked up to him, and like Hutch and people like C-Nanners, and I wanted to be like, I was like, maybe if I can get big enough, they will hear me and I can speak to them, because it's not like I was way younger and like a fanboy. I was like a few years younger, well, not more than Woody Gamertag. I was a few years. I just wanted to speak to them because I thought I would get on with them, and that we.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still older than Woody's gamer tag.
I don't know. I thought he was 7,000 years old.
I think I got him by like a year and a half.
Okay.
He's coming up on that big 7000.
Yo, I do have my big 40 coming in a couple months.
Oh, how does that feel?
Oh my God. You know what? Midlife crisis is real. Dude, you start looking at stuff and you're like, wow.
What is a midlife crisis? Like, I've always heard that term. I never I kind of get it, but like.
Well, you guys are growing up. You guys are, 19, 24. Right now, the world is just, it's infinite. You can't even think about you reaching the grave. You're just, everything is wide open for you. You have the world in your hand. When you get to 40, you're pretty much your routine in your ways. What is, you figure out everything that's going on. You know what you like, what you don't like. You get into a routine. Usually in your 30s, you get into this routine where, I go to work, I come home, I do this. On weekends, we do this. Like, you get into that routine, and that, I guess you can call it a rut, but I like to call it a routine because I don't like to think negatively. But once you hit 40, like 40 is pretty much the halfway point, because even though the average human life is, I think it's like 87 years now. I think it's
those last like 10 years aren't really good years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but like 40 is the halfway point, and you sort of like, it's a mile marker. It's like you look back and you're like, okay, what did I accomplish with my life? Am I where I expected to see myself at 40? And most people are like, yeah, I hit it, or I would say the vast majority look back and go, damn, I am nowhere where I thought I was going to be. And that's pretty much where I'm at in my head. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm 40. I'm like, I'm on my second marriage. My kids, by the time I'm 43, all my kids will be 18 and, off to college. My oldest son, he's in the plumbers union. So he is, a year and a half into starting his career as a plumber. My 17-year-old is looking at colleges. And my 15-year-old is already, preparing for college as well. Like, he's getting all these, pre-college courses. He's going to take 3 different languages before he graduates, just so it looks good on his college transcripts.
God damn. That's hardcore.
And he's 15, and I'm like, when I was 15, the only thing I could think about was pussy. Like, I didn't think about anything else.
You know what, though? I feel like that's kind of a growing thing, because I always hear stories of, like, people who are not in my generation or older, and they say, like, yo, when I was young, like, I did whatever, and I was a hooligan, and I was messing around. Like, in my high school, like, if you weren't going, if we were playing 3 different sports, playing an instrument, and taking, like, top-level courses, you were, like, a scrub, and no one liked you.
Oh.
Maybe that's a little bit fair to say, but it was like, like, oh, you're not gonna be successful in life, and it's like already at the age of 16, people are so concerned about that, right? And
that's be a big thing now, people becoming successful really, really young.
Yeah,
like as young as possible, and that wasn't the case even when I was, or I didn't know. I was unaware of this, like, phenomenon of people winning at life.
I think it's because
like
the parents
and opening up a app or a website and selling their business for 30 million when they're like 15 years old to Google and shit like that.
I think a lot of it is because, like, I know parents, they'll see, like, oh, maybe they have the knowledge from that, and they're like, oh, I want my kids to get the best possible experience or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a thing.
That can only be a good thing for the evolution of people, right? Like,
I think so.
Do better.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, Greg, coming back to you, man, like, when I'm coming up 40, I would hope that I look up to you and all the wisdom that every time we speak to you that we get from you. I would hope that I have that same sort of, aura going on when I'm your age. So I think you should be freaking ecstatic with who you are coming up to age 40. You got 2 boys who you're super proud of, and you just been telling us how good they're doing. I think that's amazing, man.
Well, I mean, there's 2 things. When you hit 40, you're either a bitter old man or you're still, a kid at heart. And I like to believe that I'm still a kid at heart.
Definitely a kid at heart.
I'm still very optimistic about my future. I mean, did I hit the goals that I set for myself? Absolutely not, because, my first marriage failing sort of put a huge damper on that. But, I mean, to tell you about my one regret in life, and I usually I'm not the kind of person, like, every mistake I make is a learning experience, so I don't look at it as regret.
Absolutely.
One regret I have, I was in 11th grade, 1992. I was working 40 hours a week delivering pizzas, and I was probably making about $50,000 a year at 16. Now put that in perspective. You're going back 20 years.
Yeah,
I'm making $50,000 a year delivering pizzas.
Wow. That's like 70K.
My teacher at the time told me he knew how much I was working, and like he was, sort of like a father figure because my dad was never around. And he told me, he's like, listen, Greg, this is what I want you to do. I know you're working really hard. I know you're making, pretty good money. I want you to do this. I want you to give your mom, put some money aside, give your mom $1,000 and tell her to buy this stock for you. This new company just came out. It's coming on the market. He's like, I just bought 10,000 shares. See if you can buy yourself like 500 shares. It will set you up for your future. And I was like, all right, well, what's this company called? Microsoft.
Oh.
I didn't buy it.
Look at that bombshell right there.
He bought 10,000 shares, and in 2 years, he was a multi-millionaire and retired.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So you talk about regrets. Getting advice straight on a golden platter and saying, yeah, okay, old man, fuck you. That's what I did, and I screwed myself. Imagine the possibilities.
Yeah. Right, let's take that point right there, and let's turn it, because we've got this amazing example of this right now in the flesh of Patrick and his YouTube channel. Let's take that and throw it back at all your subscribers, man.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of people that look up to you and look at what you do and want to do it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to hear like wisdom too.
Like, well, you might take something from this. I might try and go on sort of a tangent because that was inspiring what he just said. What Greg said.
I mean, segue, Uoon. Go for it. Go.
Right. Hold on. Let me not lose my mind here. But so Patrick right now is. We've known Patrick since we all started, let's say, about the same time, within 6 months of each other. We started our gaming channels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take it to the present day. I probably quit YouTube about 4 or 5 times. Greg quit YouTube probably about the same amount of times as me.
I pretty much quit twice. I quit once. I took like a 3-month break, and then I started up again, and then I had almost 2,000 subscribers, and I was getting like 40 views a channel, and I was like, you know what? My time is way too valuable to do this, and I just was stopped.
Right.
Well, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And let's look at our channel sizes now. I have just under 4,000 subscribers. Greg, have you got? Is it about 2,000?
Give or take 2,000. It might be 1,700.
Yeah, and Patrick's this phenomenal almost 600K.
Right.
Patrick didn't give up. Patrick didn't give up when the older, wiser, potentially wiser, Uoon and Greg gave up. And maybe that's because we were older and we were maybe being realistic and didn't think that we could do what all our dreams were, which is what Patrick is on his way to doing right now.
That's a good point.
Patrick was young and, inspired. And he had setbacks, zombies, didn't look like it was going to be the thing. Call of Duty wasn't doing zombies and ghosts. He kept doing it. He got strikes on his channels. Did it stop him? No, he kept doing it. And look at him now. He's been doing it for years, and this is his time right now.
Well, thank you for the kind words, dude. But I was going to say, like, you know what? Like, I actually have, this is like, it's pretty old now, but I have a piece of paper. Like, this was just one random night I was up, like, probably over a year ago now. And I remember, like, this was before my channel started to take off, and it was like a year after zombies had come out and like things were just not going well. And I remember, like, I think I was watching a Syndicate video and watching like his life, and like, he does YouTube all like full time and stuff, and just like wanting that so bad still. And like, I had 30,000 subscribers, so like that's a great channel size, but it wasn't like full time, right? Mm-hmm. Not full time size. And I remember, like, I wrote down on a piece of paper, like, I want to do YouTube full time, and it says I want to do YouTube full time. Period. I want to live a life that is unrealistic. And
awesome.
Every night I go to bed, I still look at that. Like, I just remind myself.
That's awesome. And I did a really similar thing. I even made a YouTube video when I had about 200 subs saying, "This is my dream is to do this."
Right.
Like we all had the same. the same dream for all of us. And
I remember that video, Uoon. I actually remember it, and that was one of your best videos because it was so sincere, it was so heartfelt, and you could hear it in your voice that it was 100% true.
Well, my biggest thing, and this is why I will fully admit I am so jealous of Patrick, and because in that video I had never met Gemma, my future fiance, my fiance now, but I said in that video, or I hope I did, at least I was thinking it, that I want to have a job where I can live at home and see my kids grow up, because I am terrified of that passing me by. And now I'm in a position where for me to, I can't do that. I have to work, I have to work 50, 60 hours a week to put food on their table. And I'm about to go to work on Wednesday, finishing my paternity leave. And I'm terrified. I'm not going to see my daughter's first steps. I'm not going to see her first words, even her first smile. That I'm going to miss that. And I don't deserve to do what Patrick does. I don't think the world is a crazy enough place where you get something that you don't deserve. Patrick has that because he deserves it. And to anyone
absolutely.
watching Patrick's video, if you have even like a 30% inkling that you want to do YouTube, start today. Be on your way to do it today, whether that's actually starting, whether that's getting a savings, little piggy bank to buy yourself a capture card or, a mic. Start today, because you don't know. You can still be original in this crazy world of YouTube. It is not too saturated for someone to be original, and
Absolutely.
you won't get noticed straight away, but you always get what you deserve.
Right.
You might get setback like Patrick did. Patrick's had loads of setbacks. Patrick's had setbacks where maybe any other person would have quit. But if you, as a viewer, as a subscriber watching, this is what you want to do it, enjoy it, and don't give up until you are at where you want to be, that goal that you set yourself.
The thing is it looks so far away when you're not there, if that makes sense. But like looking back, it really is clear to me that like it just comes down to the work you're going to put into it. Like, to anyone listen, I say this a lot, is like, Patrick, do you have any tips for doing YouTube? My only advice, I have two things I'll say. Number one, be consistent with your uploads, and number two, work your ass off, because like that's a lot of it is luck, honestly. And I'd love to say
you
like
made that own look for yourself, man. You
I
can't,
I think there is an aspect to it that
one video that you didn't expect to blow up, maybe you thought another video was better.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. The video
that doesn't mean you didn't deserve it. That still means that video to other people was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Let me say this real quick. Patrick, when you hit 1 million views, you need to hire Uoon as your PR director. Just get that out of the way. And B, the reason you're successful is because you never gave up. And that's the bottom line. That's in anything, whether it's YouTube, whether it's a sport you love, whether anything you want to do with your life. The main goal, and for anyone out there under 18 still in school, what you want to focus on is you want to find a career in life that doesn't feel like work. And I tell my kids this all the time. My son wants to go to college. I'm like, what are you going to study in college? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, listen, go to college, get your general studies out of the way. You'll figure it out. I said, but at the end of the day, find a job that you love doing, and you won't work a day in your life.
Yeah, you should need to take vacations. You should love what you do. And a way to sort of think about that for yourself is, what would you be doing if money wasn't an option? And I know there's a really, really good philosopher who
Alan Watts.
Is that
Alan Watts? What would you do if money wasn't and it didn't exist or matter?
Absolutely true. I have always come back to YouTube, even when I felt like I can't do it anymore. I have, ever since 2005 when YouTube came out, I have always come back to YouTube. I didn't always post, but I always wanted to, and like I've always made excuses for myself, like I'm too busy. Guess what? I have a kid now. I'm as busy as I've ever been in my entire life, and I still have a video uploading right this second.
That's what it's about, dude. Is just going for it.
You guys are better than me. I feel like when I come home from work after a long day, I want to sit down and game, and I can't. Like I probably have 100 videos saved, and I just can't get to the point of actually recording a commentary and then doing the editing and putting it up.
But Greg, your videos, like your advice was so. Just because not everyone was hearing it didn't mean that your advice was absolutely top level.
And
like,
Uoon, I hear you, and like I said, when I did YouTube, I did it for me. I didn't do it for views. I didn't do it for notoriety.
Oh my God, my cat just went crazy.
I didn't do it for money. I just did it because it was a hobby that I enjoyed, and I wanted to do it. Like, I got excited to make a commentary, but it got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm too old for this shit, and I know I'm not. But I got to a point where I'm like, I'm spending 4 or 5 hours putting together this video, putting together commentary, cutting, pasting, doing this, editing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm putting this video up. And it got to the point, I mean, I made almost 700 videos. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not enjoying it anymore. I stopped enjoying it. And that's when I said, look, I need a break. And I took a break. And then when I came back and I started doing it again, I'm like, initially I was like, oh, this feels good. It feels good again. But after a couple videos, I'm like, you know what? I wanted it to feel good, but it didn't. And that's the thing. If you are out there, and Patrick, I'm sure every time you make a video, you still feel good about it, or you want to be doing it, or you want to be successful.
That's the thing. There's some things I do that like I don't like anymore, and it's kind of like, all right, how can I transition out of this? Because I'm figuring like, all right, that's the thing. Is you have to do what you enjoy, and if it's something you don't, you're going to screw yourself over, because YouTube is such like a passion thing that you have to enjoy what you're doing or it doesn't go right.
Spoiler alert, if Patrick kills one more zombie, he's gonna
No, I'm not tired of don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not tired of killing zombies, and I've found ways through my channel to keep zombies original to me, and I think that people like me keeping zombies original has resulted in like keeping zombies original for other people, because they're like, oh, I see what he's doing, that would be fun for me to do, like let me go do this, right?
You're an inspiration.
If you're gonna do, I'll add this about YouTube, because you're what was your 2 points, because they were really good. Upload consistently
and work your ass off.
And work your ass off.
Basically the exact same thing.
If you want to achieve anything, like, you have to add value to the world, and right there he nailed it, what his value was.
Yep.
He's inspiring other people to go and play zombies, or go do his challenge, or listen to his advice. If you're just doing YouTube videos, like I looked at a lot of my videos and I realized that I wasn't adding value. I was like, this is a piece of crap.
Right. I will say this, like, I never had the confidence that I thought people liked me, if that makes sense. Like, I never thought like my personality was good enough, right? Like, I see those guys, people with just those ridiculous personalities, I'm like, man, like, that's not me. Like, I'm a pretty chill guy. Like, I'm not out there. And it always, like, it's still, I find it weird that people are actually drawn to my personality. Like, I still find that hard to believe, because I just don't think like I'm that guy, right? But it's kind of a thing of finding your own person. And,
well, that's just,
right.
That's just, I don't think
well,
if you did think of yourself as that guy, then maybe you'd be an arrogant.
I wouldn't be. And then right.
Like, you don't, that's not who you want to be. The only thing you can be is grateful.
Yeah, and I am.
I don't think it's actually possible to be happy about anything if you're not grateful. Like, I know, like, Frank Sinatra was like famous for like just being unhappy.
Really?
He obviously didn't appreciate like what he was given to the world and how good things were. So,
damn.
And you clearly appreciate.
Oh, so much.
I know it sounds like I'm really sort of like blowing smoke up your ass.
PR.
And I am. I that's exactly what I'm doing, because you deserve it, and you deserve to hear that. Because I wouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
You're not blowing smoke if it's fact.
Is that I don't really understand the expression. I just thought it fit in.
Right.
You said you had like some questions. I don't know if there was anything like specific you wanted to ask me or anything, but
I mean, I just want to like. Okay, yeah, let's go through some questions of what it's like to be a YouTuber. Because let's say if I switch around on my life, it's not my job. I don't make money doing YouTube. If sometimes I try and make a video and my fiance would be like, "Why are you doing that when you could be doing something else?"
Right.
Do you now have that sort of scapegoat of this is your job, and this is what I have to do? Like, does your family really understand what you're doing?
Yeah, my family's totally cool with it. Like if you know, like my dad's retired now, so like he just kind of, you know, he'll be outside like doing a lot of work outside, just kind of working around the yard and stuff. And like I'll feel bad because it's like normally I'm like, oh, I should help him, but then I think, wait, I like if I had to go to a like go outside like of my house to go to a job, I couldn't go help him right now. And it's like, wait, I need to go make a video. Like I can't, right? And I sort of feel like an obligation there. Where like I feel like sometimes I'm working and it's like I'm home and it doesn't feel like work, right? But I feel like I just went off on a tangent. What was your question?
No, that's the best job in the world. Like I was saying earlier, when you do something you love, you will never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you were just saying. It's not feel like you're working. You're doing something you love to do, and it's rewarding for you.
Right.
And you happen to make money while you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's the best job in the world.
And I will say I find it a lot harder than I expected because I would.
Oh, I bet you it's
like.
I bet it's tough.
I'm still going to school, and like the last 8 months were ridiculously hard. Like just so like I had no time to do anything because it would be go to school, you know, study, make a video, and then like that was like my life. And then weekends I'd usually find time to do something, but coming back, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a piece of cake. Like, you know, all I have to do is just YouTube now. And then it's like, oh, why don't I start streaming? Why don't I add that? And it's like, oh, why don't I start a second channel? Why don't I do that? And it's like, I've like added things to do, right? But like, I just find have like unstructured time. It can be really easy to just mess off and do nothing. And then it's like, wait, no, I need like, what am I doing? I should be working right now. And I'm not too bad on it, but I will find myself sometimes just struggling to find a schedule, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've still got to find balance because if you just do YouTube, you know, the entire time you're awake, at some point you may burn yourself out on it.
And that's the other thing
you have to be wary of because you don't ever like because you love this and it is possible to ruin things for yourself no matter how much you love them.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like I need to remind myself sometimes like, look, like this is an opportunity, like you should make the most of it and enjoy it. And you know, like I always have a thing, like if a friend, unless I'm really like I need to do something, but like if I have a friend and they're like, hey, want to do something, like I always try to say yes just to get myself out of the house and like go do things.
I think that's really smart.
Yeah,
that's really tough. The point I was making, I probably didn't make it very clear, is say me and Greg, for example, like it might not seem acceptable to maybe make a YouTube video or when you have other commitments in your life.
Right.
And you'll have that as well. But at the point where you earn a living, do people like do they just accept what you do? Like for example, right now, then if I was to take hours and hours doing this, then my family would be like, why didn't you spend that time with us?
Right.
I'd be like, oh well, I was doing YouTube and I love doing YouTube, but it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, I think no, it's definitely gotten better now that it's like a job. When it was a hobby, you know, my parents would be like, oh, like don't spend your whole summer in the basement, which is kind of what I did last summer. And it wasn't like a full-time job, but now they've kind of seen that it's like, okay, this is like a real thing. Like, you know, got to respect it.
And it's still sort of one of those impossible things, like especially to the people watching, if you're like in school and you really want to do this, but in your parents' eyes, there's nothing more important than your grades and your schoolwork. And I think it's one of those things that is impossible to explain to them until you make it.
It is, yeah. There's no way, because it's like, you know, your parents want the best for you and stuff, but it's hard to see. I think it's hard to see your kid and be like, oh my God, you know, like he could do that, right?
Well, I'll tell you this, as a parent of children that are trying this, like my youngest, he is ranked like in the top 300 in CS:GO. Wow. And he's been approached by sponsors, but he's told me he's like I can't accept their sponsorship because his mother, who he lives with, will turn the internet off because she's mad at him.
Oh no, that's so wrong.
So he can't pursue it the way he wants to because he doesn't have his own internet. And I'm like, you know, I would personally send you money every month to get your own internet for just your room. I said, but at the same time, I can't undermine your mother's authority in her house.
Right.
I said, so you need to, you know, start respecting your mom to keep the internet on so you can pursue your dream.
And you're absolutely right, because if he ends up not being successful in it or whatever, and he's gonna gain so much experience from that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
so much. Like, and that's not just because it's video games doesn't mean it's a negative, pointless experience. Like,
it's any hobby. If you think about it, and this is what I tried to tell my ex-wife, is, you know what? If he was playing baseball, would you deter him? It's a game. Whether it's a video game or a real life game, a sport, it doesn't matter. It's his passion. It's something he loves to do. And you know what? If he was at the batting cage for 5 hours a night working on his swing, you wouldn't say a goddamn thing about it. You would praise him for his commitment. But since he's sitting on his computer playing a video game, which you don't understand nor do you respect, therefore he's wasting his time. That's the thing. A lot of parents are so beat down by life, they don't look at it they only look at it realistically and logically.
They think they're doing their best for their kid, and then they're in turn are going to be filled with regret by not letting them do what they wanted.
But at the same time, the most successful people on this planet, their parents didn't stop them, or they didn't let their parents stop them from pursuing their dream. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You know what? This is your life. You know what? Yes, you have to respect your parents because they are providing for you. They are giving you a place to live. They're putting food in your mouth. They're, putting you through school. Whatever it is they're providing for you, you have to respect them. But at the same time, if you show passion in whatever you're doing, they have to respect that passion, or you have to open their eyes so they will respect that passion. And you have to be 100% committed. It can't be something fly by the night, like, oh yeah, I want to do YouTube, I want to buy this capture card, this, and then start making some videos and give up. You have to stay consistent and work your ass off, just like Patrick said, because that is what's going to show everybody around you that you're dead serious about what you're doing. It's something you love to do and you're passionate about it. And nobody, I don't care, they will never question if you're passionate about something, whether you're serious or not.
Amen. That's
absolutely.
There's that Greg knowledge kicking in.
well, you have that you have an example of that as well, because you went to first year university, and more often than not, I saw YouTubers ruin their channels, doing that because they stopped posting. I mean, you seem to hold them in the same amount of weight. Like, you would never. You're doing your schoolwork and you're doing your YouTube.
Doing kind of. So I should this is actually probably a good segue, because we did a topic, it was a tricom, a triocom, whatever, on should you go to college or not, and we had a big long discussion.
Yeah.
Because Greg, I don't think you didn't go to university.
I did not go to college.
And then you
university college. No, I did not.
And then you dropped out, though.
And it was a total waste of time.
Right, yeah. And at the time, I was in a position where I was always a really big academic, and I just kind of, I thought that was the path for me. And now I'm kind of at the point where I see new opportunities, and it's I don't know what to do at this point.
Well, dude, don't give up. As long as you don't want to, don't give up your YouTube, because you can go back and get a degree anytime you want. You might not be able to just throw away your channel and come back to it. And because I was at a dinner tonight, it was my dad's 60th, and I told them, I was like, I'm about to be on a podcast with someone that I've known for ages and is being really successful. I don't know how much he's making, but I think he's doing okay, and he's got so and so amount of subscribers. And my mom said, well, what good is that going to do him? Because I said, you're 19 now, and she said, because she had no clue what the hell all that meant.
Right.
And you might be making more than she makes. She has no freaking clue.
Let's leave the dollar signs out of this conversation.
Oh yeah, that's no one else's business but your own.
Right.
But she didn't understand it, and even if that was me, I wonder if she never understood a single YouTube video, and she is a lovely, lovely, caring, kind-hearted woman that I respect more than anyone.
Yeah, well, see, when I said that, I'm actually leaning the other way now, where I'm seeing YouTube as this opportunity, and it's I'm going back to school this year, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go this. I'm just kind of playing it as I go. I'm gonna go to school, but I mean, you said it perfect, Uoon. You can always go back and get a degree, but YouTube isn't gonna be around forever, and I realize that it's such just this huge opportunity. And I mean, it could stop at 600,000 subscribers, or it could blow up to 6 million. I have no idea. And I really am just, I'm at the, I mean, my last semester at school, I didn't skip a lot of class, but it was like, all right, I need to make a YouTube video and I have class right now. Like I would sometimes, forego school for YouTube. And I feel like that's only going to grow as my channel grows.
Well, I'm going to put on the dad cap.
Yeah.
Tell you, Patrick, if I was your father, what I would tell you is, listen, YouTube right now is hot. It's what's in the now. It's what's going on today.
I don't know a single dad that would ever say hot, but I love that.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm a hip father. Let me just tell you, okay? And Uoon, you interrupt me again, I'm going to put you on timeout. So, Patrick, what I would say is YouTube is working for you right now, all right?
Yeah.
It is the hot moment right now. And yes, school is absolutely very important, because if you put it to the same analogy as sports, so if you're in the NFL, you have a set shelf life in the NFL.
Right.
You still have to prepare for your future. So if I were you, I would say, listen, you know what? University is very important for your future, but so is YouTube, because you can take the profits you make from YouTube and the experience, which is actually probably more important than the money. Right now, you take that, and if you work it correctly and you couple that with your experience in university and what you're going to learn in your degree, your future's set. And you're 19 years old. If you graduate in 2 years with a degree, at the age of 21, you could be pretty much set for life, where you can focus on only pursuing your dreams for the rest of your life and have that financial independence to do so. So if I were you, if I was your father and telling you what I would suggest for you to do is focus on YouTube first, university a damn close second, but always think long term.
Yeah.
Remember, YouTube will end someday.
Absolutely.
It will.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have given anything to have heard that exact advice when I was about 18 years old, about whatever it is that I was enjoying at the time. That is such perfect, that is perfect advice, man. That's how, that advice is what stopped you having your midlife crisis when you're 40, by listening to what Greg just said.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys invite the old man for some good advice now and then.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's so hard because, on one side, it's like school. And then on the other side, it's I've seen so many YouTubers make the transition out of school. I've seen Team Art do it. I've seen Syndicate do it. Those are just a couple guys that come to mind. And it's so much. But the other thing I tell myself is I've like I said, I've always kind of been an academic, and I always tried to get really good grades. And the other thing I need to remind myself is that maybe I don't need to I put less into school, right? And this is gonna sound so bad for anyone listening, but this is me kind of figuring things out on my own. It's just at the end of the day, C's get degrees, right? If you ever heard that term.
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard the term, anything worth doing is worth doing well? You ever hear that term?
That is true.
So, if you're an academic, I'm sorry, and I'm not.
No,
trying
keep
to cut
going,
you
man.
off,
You go for it.
But if you're an academic and that's something you love, you're passionate about.
See, it's not what I love. I'm getting a business degree because I feel for the knowledge, but it's not something that I'm passionate about.
But you look at it. The thing is, right now you're basically running a business.
Yeah,
you are, and you love it, which is more important than anything else. So the business degree will help you in parlaying this success into your next success.
Right.
But like I said before, YouTube is still number one because it's today, it's now.
Yeah.
It's your current success. It's your baby that you need to focus on. So you focus on that. That's what I'm saying. You need to focus on that, because the second you try to, just make a video to make a video, and your subscribers don't hear that passion in your voice or that heart behind the commentary, they're gonna be like, you know what, it's getting old, and they're gonna start tuning out, and you never want that. So that's what I'm saying. You have to keep your heart and passion where it belongs today, in the now.
Right. Okay, I got you. I get you now. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you live in the now, because tomorrow's not promised, but at the same time, you need to plan for your future. So that's what I'm saying. You take this experience, you take this success, You take, the mistakes you've made, the lessons you've learned, and you parlay that along with your university degree and the education that comes along with that for your next success.
Okay, I got you.
It is really nice that your degree sort of ties in with your entrepreneurial sort of business mindset.
Yeah.
Because mine didn't. I did a sports and exercise science degree because I quite liked sports when I was younger.
Right.
You know what? My mind just put together something. So Patrick, your next business should be like coffee bars, and you could hire Uoon to run your business.
Boom. There we go. That would work perfect. And I'll move to the UK.
Well, no, you don't have to move there. You just fly over there once every 3 months and make sure he's doing what he needs to do.
Canada seems like it might be the greatest country in the world. That's going to be really controversial. But
I don't know. I kind of want to leave.
Really?
Not long term.
I've met about 20 Canadians, and every single one of them has been a top-notch lad.
It's so cold. I want to, I want to stay here in the summer.
I would move to Canada myself.
It seems nice, and I rate people my whole understanding of people is all depending on how good a person they are.
Right. Yeah. This year was the big change for me because I was at school and I didn't have someone to drive me every day, to class or whatever. So I had to walk through the 3 feet of snow to get to class someday. And it's just why did people choose to live here? This is why were the people traveling and they're yeah, let's set up camp here. I think this place is good.
You're also always going to have half the world think that you're the South Park versions of yourself, which...
That's true. But yeah, no, people are nice in Canada.
Can I go back to the sort of... When you said, I can sort of get through uni because I'm clever, basically, is what you're saying. And I want to totally disagree with you in that because I could... Okay, here we go. So I'm going to tie this all together.
Okay.
I know what my midlife crisis is going to be about, Greg. It's going to be about when I was younger... And I was really, really good at sort of everything that I did. And it made my work ethic non-existent. I was the best at all the sports I did. I got straight A's at school without doing any revision. And it made me not driven at all. And just because you can get your degree without trying, which I also could have done, I think it's not right for you because you're obviously a really, really hard-working person.
Yeah.
Patrick, for you to do anything like that in your life. If I'd rather you didn't do university at all than did it half-assed.
Right. And see, that's another way
because
I feel.
You could put that half-assed, still 20 hours a week and put that towards something that you want to do full-assed.
Right. And that, I've always been someone, whatever I do, I go all in on it. It's I'm not good at doing things half and half.
And what if that sort of I'm just getting by in school? What if that sort of transferred into other parts of your life? Because I know that's what happened to me. I didn't get a work ethic until I really started working full time and not having any education in my life.
Yeah.
That's when I got my work ethic because everything had just been so easy and there was no need to try. And that sounds really bad. Some people in the world are like that. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing if you're really switched on if you're not hardworking. Right. I'd rather be hardworking than really switched on.
Uoon, I'm going to agree with you and disagree with you. I'm going to agree with you that yes, when everything comes easy, it's kind of hard to develop that work ethic.
Is your dad cap back on?
Yeah, my dad cat's back
okay,
on because when I was in school, I was a senior. I was taking calculus, and when I was working 60 hours a week, I actually slept third period calculus. I slept in class. My teacher would give me a pass to my next class if I overslept over the bell. I got a B in that class. I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about calculus, but I got a B in calculus. Now, I have a horrible work ethic. Now, if I'm passionate about something, I'm self-taught programmer. I taught myself VBA. I've taught myself VB.net. I've taught myself PHP, ASP. I know all this stuff because I got passionate about it, and I can pick things up very easily. Now, when it comes to my work ethic, if I can speak, I'm very driven when I want to be driven. If I'm bored, my work ethic just falls right off the cliff. So when you're telling him that if he's going to go half-fast through uni, he shouldn't do it, I'm going to disagree because 90% of the time when you come out of university, the only thing you're coming out of the university with is a piece of paper.
That's how I kind of feel.
If you have the knowledge from going half-fast as much the same amount of knowledge as the people that want 110%, and you both have the same piece of paper, you're ahead of the game. So, you know what I'm saying?
But you said that you didn't retain any of that half-assed knowledge that you got from calculus.
No, because it never transitioned. And this is another thing you'll learn. If you don't use it, you lose it. You can study and get straight A's all through school. If you don't use that knowledge, if you don't parlay it into something that's working in your daily life, then you're going to lose it. Like if I give you a 6-month crash course on how to design a website, and at the end of the 6 months, you know how to design a website, and then you don't do it for 2 years, chances are you're only going to retain maybe 30% of what I taught you. Correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like most people come out of college, they're only looking for a piece of paper. Like that's the only reason I ever thought about going back to school was just to get a piece of paper. It wasn't to gain any knowledge because I had all the knowledge.
Yeah,
sometimes you need that piece of paper to do what you want.
Because you're never like, oh,
sometimes you do.
I wish I knew more about this so I could do this. You could acquire the knowledge on your own, right?
Yeah, you can. There's not many things you can't learn on the internet, but sometimes that's not true at all. Like sometimes that piece of paper is what you need as a qualification to apply for the job that you want to do.
Yeah,
like, this is more, when you're a doctor, like business is a general degree, which is it's one of the better general degrees that you can do. It's not the same as doing medicine or law where there's sort of fixed areas of expertise that you go into after that.
So that's kind of why I went into it.
But business, that doesn't mean doing a business degree is a bad thing. It's nice having a general degree that opens you up to do whatever you might want to do. Like I had a sports and exercise science degree, which doesn't really help me in many things apart from sports and exercise science, So I think you made a good choice. And it seems like from the advice that Greg's given you and what I've said to you, that at some point in the fairly near future, you might have to make that decision.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, oh, I'm just kind of like not really thinking about it because it's just like I just got to take this one step at a day, or one day at a time, right? And just kind of go through.
Have you spoke to your parents about it or anything? Like
I've talked with my parents. They think I should still, go through with the 4 years. Oh, well, I have 3 years left. Actually, this is kind of weird. I had a conversation about it with Woody's gamertag, and he thinks I should go for it.
Name drop. Well, he thinks you should go like YouTube full time.
Yeah. Well,
how did you get in contact with Woody's gamertag?
He actually did an AMA, ask me anything on Reddit, and I just said like, hey, like, do you have any advice? Like, I'm kind of like an upcoming YouTuber, like thinking
I'm kind of like a big deal right now. What should I do?
Kind of making the transition, and he said like, like I think you should go for it, dude. But that's one person.
Yeah.
I mean, Woody's,
But Patrick, that's basically what I was saying. Go for it. That should be your number one priority because it's now. It's now. Yeah. You have what millions want. Okay. Seriously, there are millions and millions of people on YouTube right now that would die for 10,000 subscribers, let alone 600,000.
Right.
So you have it. You've earned it. There's no doubt about that. You've earned it. So make the most of it. Keep it going and ride it until you reach the finish line. Whatever that finish line is, whether it's next year or 10 years from now, you ride that horse until it falls the fuck over.
And I have full faith that you will make whatever decision is the best decision for you, regardless of. I think you know yourself better than most people know themselves at 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I think you'll make the right decision for you. It seems like you've made very few mistakes in your life, Mr. Patrick Smith, for a 19-year-old.
I don't know about that, but.
But again, Patrick, remember, you're only 19, okay?
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment, because I'm telling you, when you're my age, 39, 20 years from now, you're going to be looking back and going, God damn, I love
those are some good times.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I definitely will.
The best years of my life were between 16 and 22. And that doesn't take anything away from me raising my children and raising my family, because they were great moments. But I'm saying having fun and that just living in the moment is in that time between 16 and 22, because everything is new, everything exciting, and everything is just a learning experience that you will take into your future. So enjoy the moment. I'm not telling you to drop out of university and do YouTube full time. If you can balance both, go for it. But at the end of the day, YouTube should be your number one priority, with university being a damn close second. So if you can half-ass it and still get good grades and get your degree while you're focusing on YouTube, enjoy it. Multitask the shit out of it and make the best of it.
All right, I like that. I like that advice from both you guys. I feel like this has kind of turned into the Patrick hour, but
I know. Look at this guy, like getting advice from the two people who didn't get where he wanted to get. Like we're still like, no, you know what you need to do, Pat? You know what you really need to do? You need to go back to 1992 and invest in that Microsoft for us. That's what you need.
God damn it! You know what? I kicked myself.
Wait a minute, you can invest in it now for us. No joking.
Yeah, but if I bought it at $2.12 a share, it split 7 times in that 2 years.
Wow.
7 times, and at the end of that 2 years, it was like $186 a share.
Is that teacher like still alive to give me some advice or what?
I mean, he was probably in his late 50s, early 60s when he was my teacher. So like he was close to retirement anyway. But there's a difference between going to retirement, collecting your pension from being a teacher, than going to retirement owning, it's split how many times? So we had like almost 200,000 shares of Microsoft stock at $186 a share.
Oh my God. See, I feel like that's such a lucky pick though.
Well, yeah.
Well,
like,
think about it. People bought Facebook. They bought 100 shares of Facebook, at $27 when it opened. I mean, Facebook's up to what, almost $100 a share?
Really?
That's a triple profit.
Wow.
And the thing is, if Facebook keeps going the way it is, in 3 years, it may split a couple times. And, that's the thing. Like stocks are, I'm not telling anybody out there to just start playing the stock market because it's a risky game. But at the same time, like when you have opportunities and like the internet, the whole internet thing is sort of dying down because the whole ISPs and all that stuff is sort of dying down because people have gotten burned so bad. Like the companies were ISPing at $12 a share, they're going up to 50, and then 2 years later they're bankrupt.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stock market has been dying around that. But like companies like Google and Facebook and
well, dude, Facebook is about to do something crazy. They're trying to basically take like a YouTube kind of monetization platform really soon. Where all those views are like you have networks and like basically exactly what YouTube does.
Mm-hmm. There's like a million viral videos a day going on.
Yeah. The thing with YouTube though is that they autoplay their videos, so their numbers are really inflated. Like they don't get as many views as they say they do.
They're a bit sort of skewed. Like they sort of have 2 types of analytics I read. And there's like the views where the video just plays, and there's the views where people had retention for 30 seconds or longer. The sort of actual views.
Yeah.
Having said that, a lot of the videos are like 4 seconds long. but Greg, I think maybe stock markets isn't right, but it's always better to have your money, if you have money, to have it in assets rather than just in your bank account.
Well, yeah, honestly, inflation's just going to eat away at it.
The best thing you can ever own
the government spends your money through inflation.
The best thing you can ever own in life is real estate, because you know what? They're not making it anymore.
Fair point. The world.
And then you just got to find the bubbles, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to invest in anything, go with like real estate and bonds and stuff that is going to be safe, secure. But again, at 19 or 24, your 401k should be completely high aggressive stocks all the way down the line, because you'll win big or you're going to break even.
Yeah, what's it? The S&P 500 index funds. Yeah, those are they're volatile, but they're pretty consistent because it's like the whole market of America, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like that's what I'm saying, Patrick. So if you make this YouTube thing and you take what little money you're making from YouTube, and I say that on purpose, and you invest it properly, in 10 years, you may never have to worry about anything again, and you can do whatever you want to make yourself happy.
Let that set in. Like that is really
like
cool.
Seriously. I mean, you could take $20,000 today, and in 10 years, that $20,000 could be $2 million if you play your cards correctly. And it sounds ridiculous, but it is 100% a fact.
No, absolutely. I mean, I've watched videos where it's like, if you invest this much over this length at this percent, you can be a millionaire in like 20 2 years or something like that.
Well, I will tell you about that because I know about that. It's called the Rule of 72.
Compound interest.
The Rule of 72. Yeah.
The Rule of 72. If you take your interest rate divided by 72, that's how many years it takes your money to double. So if you're 20 years old and you invest at, the stock market over the last 120 years has averaged 13% yield. Right. That's a fact. So at the age of 20, if you put $10,000 in at 13%, we'll say 12, so it divides easily. Every 6 years, your money doubles.
Which
so
is
you do the math.
Good. But yeah, exactly, right?
If you're young, and I wish to God someone would have smacked me in the head and told me this, put a lot of money, as much money as you can from your checks, especially if your company is matching your 401k, put as much as you can. Yeah, there are companies out there match dollar for dollar.
That is cool.
So, I think the max is 15% you can do. If you do 15% at the age of 20 in your 401k, you'll be able to retire when you're 45 and live comfortably. Just keep that in mind.
This is good advice for everyone listening too.
Because don't get to 24 and live paycheck to paycheck and have no savings.
I'm 40 and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck because shit didn't work out the way it is. Seriously, I have 2 properties that I own and rent out. I have investment options that I've worked on in my life, but my goal was by the time I hit 35 is to own 15 properties. Now, my divorce sort of screwed that up, but I didn't hit my goal. And that's what I'm saying. I'm almost 40 and I didn't hit my goals, but it doesn't mean I didn't make steps toward my goals. And that's the thing. You gotta take what you get and put it in perspective. No matter what you've done or haven't done, you could have done a hell of a lot worse. So just keep positive and keep moving forward.
God damn. Yeah.
Dude, anyone who's watching this, go over to Seriiaal's channel and put a comment on it and tell him to start uploading advice videos again.
Everyone go ask for it.
I need this in my life. I can't wait till Patrick goes, let's do it.
You need a series
and I need to hear this once a week, twice a week. I need to be hearing this advice because it's so good, and I'm inspired. I'm a big.
Listen, how about this? If I get 100 comments in the next week after this is uploaded, I'll start doing, Seriiaal sound advice again.
Dude, I've got 100 comments for you right now, man. I'm a big believer in investing in yourself, right? If you can't, I can't invest in stocks, I can't invest in it, but I can invest in myself with knowledge. What did Seriiaal just give me for free? He gave me knowledge that I might use to become who I want to be.
Have you guys seen that terrible ad where it's the more you earn, the more you learn? It's Buddy with the Lamborghinis.
Oh, no, that guy's called Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
I watched that.
Is it good?
And I would never buy what he's selling. I watched his video for free, and
I think that answers it.
That might have led me to London Real, or to the TED Talk that led me to London Real, which is a really cool.
Yeah, I want to check them out.
So that guy sort of he's a bit. The thing is, you don't have to agree with everything someone says. I think that guy made a few good points that I believe in.
That's the thing. I heard a quote.
The way that he's making his money, or some other bullshit. I have definitely learned a few things from that dude.
Yeah, I heard a really good quote. It's kind of people are partially bad apples. If you look at an apple and you said, oh, there's a little blemish here, the entire thing's bad, I'm gonna throw it out. You don't get the rest of the good apple. So it's look at people like that, where yes, they may be kind of BSing you on something, or they might have some flaws, but if you can kind of dissect that and take the good out of them, that's a really good skill to have.
It's really hard to trust someone that's selling you something on the internet. It's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, to this day, I don't think I've trusted a single person enough to buy what someone's selling on the internet. But that doesn't mean that it's that guy's program. I think it's called 67 Steps. Doesn't mean it's a bad program, and it might be worth whatever.
67 Steps.
$9 a month. It might be worth that. I don't know. I'm not gonna buy it because I'm not gonna risk
doing
that. But that doesn't mean why should, if you've got something good to say, why do you have to say it for free? You don't have to.
Right.
But Greg just did that for free. just gave us some really good advice.
Well, that's like why I started this podcast, is because I was like, you know what, like I've got like a pretty big audience, like I want to help people, like give people advice, and this is just one of those things where someone's listening to this and it's like, hey, like something, like if someone even took one piece of advice for this entire like hour that we've done this, then that's a win.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And even like you're like 5 years my junior, and that doesn't mean that you don't give me advice. Like I still hear things that you do in your podcast and stuff like that, and I go, that's still advice that I can bring on. just because you're younger than me doesn't mean you don't know something with a different perspective than I know it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's all about perspective. Everybody has their own experience in life. So, never judge a book by the cover, and just, if you're talking to someone and 90%, like you were just saying, 90% of it's bullshit, you take the 10% that actually makes sense to you and parlay it into something in your life.
Like that whole the whole thing that we've all just said for the last hour.
Yeah.
You don't have to say what you like. For example, we just tried to give Patrick advice. Now he's not just going to go and take all that advice and do exactly what we said, but he might take pieces of that. And
that advice is like
to his own life.
It's kind of like a scale, right? Meaning. It's kind of like a scale, and you guys kind of added your 2 cents to the scale, right? And it's like what's going to balance out. That's how I look at advice.
Well, if you grab as much information as you can, you don't always have to make mistakes. You can learn from other people's mistakes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd hope that that's always the best case scenario. It doesn't always happen. I've learned a lot from my own mistakes that, especially when you're a kid, no one can ever tell you anything really when you're a kid. It's really difficult to listen to someone and not think that your way of thinking is the better way of thinking. It's really, really difficult.
It's a really toxic mentality.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that that's not necessarily a bad thing, that you think you know better than everyone when you're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. You look back on that and you go, wow, I was totally wrong.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you're 100% wrong. You're not like Patrick right now is 19 years old and has made some really, really good decisions, probably some not so good decisions, and probably some bad decisions, and all that experience he's gathered by 19 years old. Who knows what kind of experience he's going to have when he is my age or when he's Greg's age that he can pass down to people younger than older than him. I would love to hear from Patrick when he is Greg's age and hear.
Dude, I hope we're still talking at that point. Honestly, like, I hope I'm still doing the podcast. Like, if my YouTube channel, all that can be over. I can be married, whatever. I still so cool want the podcast to happen.
Episode like 5,000. No, well, I don't know. Like episode like 20.
Like 2,000. And it's like, you can watch like me go from being like 18-year-old starting this to like 55 and like still doing it. That would be the coolest thing ever.
Your very own Truman Show right there.
That would be phenomenal.
Especially if you put product placements in it as well, just exactly like the Truman Show.
All right, well,
I actually bought Gamma Labs from because you had like a better code than usual.
Smith 40.
I was like, here's my chance. It still cost me quite a lot because I'm from the UK, but
no, that was a legit deal. Yeah, that was. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
40% off.
I was like, this is my opportunity. I'm going to see what the rave is about. So I don't really buy into all this stuff, and then I have a kid and I have no sleep, and that stuff is amazing.
It works, dude. It works.
They should market that towards new parents because you get no sleep. Shit, I just gave away something that might
There you go. See?
Damn it.
You blew your load all over the podcast.
Look at that. That's my problem right there. Someone from Gamma's going to be like, here we go. And then after that, who was that guy that said that? Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's my idea. Anyways, you guys, well, I guess let's wrap this up. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Where can people find you guys?
Right now, I'm in my living room. My house number is... No, I'm joking. But you can find me on youtube.com/Uontube, UOONTUBE, and Twitter of the same name. I post Smite gameplay, and I sometimes post sort of discussions about topics, kind of like this, but in a more condensed, not hour-long form. And that's what I do.
And me, Seriiaal Assassin. Seriiaal Assassin with double I's in both Seriiaal and Assassin on YouTube, Twitter, whatever. I haven't posted in a while, but like I said, if I get 100 comments from some strangers out there, I'll start posting Seriiaal Sound Advice, which was a series I did a while ago. I have a playlist on my channel. If you want to check them out, let me know. I'll be happy to do it.
I'm there throwing you a comment.
Yeah, I'm about to do
it. Man, that's happening.
Okay. Patrick, if you don't mind, I'd love to do a shameless plug for another channel.
Sure.
Something that came up with all of us. Our good friend Absolute Pob.
Yes.
Oh.
He actually put out a video that got like almost 200,000 views, and because he's such a perfectionist at his craft, he took it down after he remastered it.
Really?
So everybody out there, Absolute Pob, go check him out. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button because he is an artist.
Dude, Pob
is I have no idea how he does that stuff, but
he
it's amazing.
is such a gangster.
And he has a kid too.
God.
I mean, his little daughter is probably almost 1 now.
He's having another kid. Spoiler.
Oh, really? I haven't.
Yeah,
talked to him.
I never speak to him anymore, but I have his wife on Facebook, so that's why I know that.
Oh, see,
dude.
But
he deserves like so many more subscribers, man.
He is so passionate, and he does it strictly for the love of it. He is one of those people that, I mean, he had 200 subscribers, and he was posting like once every 3 weeks, and they're masterpieces. Again.
Yeah.
Go check them out. I just wanted to take this opportunity because I know your audience I'm his biggest fan, or maybe I'm one of the biggest fans. I can't say I may be the biggest fan, but he's awesome. So
I miss Pop so much. Like
I love Pop.
I don't really speak to him anymore, and I'm like, we didn't always meet eye to eye on like everything. I totally miss like our Maze Balls podcast and speaking to that dude. Like he's such a cool guy.
Yeah, I never knew him that well, but anyways, yeah.
Patrick, it's been awesome to speak to you again.
Hey, it's always good.
I wish I could speak to you a bit more readily because I've always got like things I want to like.
Yeah, we should do.
Like it's impossible to get a hold of you these days, and understandably so.
Well, I mean, like I said, like Skype's the easiest way. I'm never not online on Skype, so.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we should try to do this more regularly. Like maybe.
I think we said this at every single podcast.
Yeah. Okay, how about October? Because November's gonna be really busy for me with Black Ops 3 coming up. But how about October?
I'll put it in my phone.
All right.
You guys
I don't
tell
know
me
my phone
when and where, and I will be there with my dad cap, my advice cap, my financial cap, my education cap. I'll have like 12 hats on, and I'll be ready to talk to you all.
Oh my god!
I hope.
I need to see a meme of that.
I was gonna say.
Seriiaal Assassin and 12 caps on.
You need to have your webcam on, actually wearing 12 hats. That would be perfect.
All right, next time I will. I'll find 12 hats. If I don't have 12 hats, I'll buy 12 hats.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been real.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been entertaining. I love you guys. And I wish you both a lot of success in life, YouTube, and whatever passions you have.
Boom.
And everybody out there listening, good luck.
Oh,
and everything.
You just cut out, but you think he said good luck on everything else as well. Anyways, that's been SmithSquad Podcast, episode 65. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next episode.